We are back for our MLB Best Bets here on Monday, August 18th. We're going simple today, okay? After a end of the week, we are going to go 4 money lines today. No Nationals game, so you replace a money line there. And I'm not doing a player prop today, all right? I love the Adrian Del Castillo pick, and he doesn't even start yesterday. I'm not even going to get involved with the player props today. Instead, 4 money lines and a nerfy today for our MLB Best Bets. We've got baseball action all day long, and yes, we have a bet for the early game today at Wrigley Field between the Brewers and the Cubs. Now, before we get into the video, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. And later today, we start our college football predictions. Week 0 is this week. We've got 5 games in college football, and we start our college football weekly predictions. We predicted every single college football game last year. We're doing it again this year. College football predictions today. College football best bets on Thursday as well. Wednesday, Thursday. We'll figure that out. I still haven't figured that out yet. Anyways, make sure to join us for the predictions, though, every single game later today at about 3 or 4 o'clock Pacific time. And on Greedo Plays MMA this week, we posted our UFC Shanghai China predictions. Johnny Walker, Ming Yang Zhang in the main event. And later today on Greedo Plays MMA, we'll have our PFL predictions. Fabian Edwards and Dalton Rosta in the main event over there in the Professional Fighters League. Okay, got that all out the way. Our first best bet of the day for the MLB is with that aforementioned Cubs and Brewers game at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. I'm going with the Milwaukee Brewers, okay? The Brewers lost yesterday. The Reds snapped that, 14-game winning streak. Finally, the Brewers take an L in a game that we had the Brewers in, and the Brewers should have won. They should have. Contreras, it's the go-ahead home run in the top of the 9th. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, Devil Magic's is showing up again. They're going to pull it off. And they give up a run in the bottom of the 9th, and they ultimately lose in the bottom of the 10th. Brewers tried to bunt a guy over. They tried to bunt Andrew Vaughn over in the top half of the 10th inning. He gets thrown out at third. Brewers don't score in the top half of the inning, and Cincinnati does score in the bottom half. So Reds win 3-2. Okay. I don't think they lose back-to-back. I don't think they do, especially with Freddie Peralta pitching. I know what you're thinking. If you've seen the pitching matchup today, Cade Horton is going for Chicago, and Horton's been really good. I don't think Horton's as good as the numbers indicate. He's a good pitcher, don't get me wrong. I just don't think this is not sustainable. Cade Horton has pitched like legitimately one of the best pitchers in baseball since the start of July. Since the start of July, Cade Horton has had 2 starts in which he's given up runs. July 9th against the Twins, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs. And his last start against the Blue Jays, 5 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run. The other 4 starts, he has not given up a single run. ERA in the month of July was 1.52. ERA in the month of August was 0.55. I'm still going with Milwaukee here. It's a combination of Freddie Peralta's going for the Brewers, and the Cubs were so unimpressive in that Pirates series. I get it. They won the series. Good for them. They barely get by Pittsburgh in back-to-back games. They lose the first game of that series in a game in which we had Pittsburgh plus 1.5. I wasn't impressed at all by Chicago in that series. And obviously the Brewers, right, have made massive gains in the National League Central, right? They are 8 games ahead of Chicago in the standings. And yes, technically the Cubs could still make a run at the division, but it looks like, again, it's pretty set in stone at this point, at least almost, that Milwaukee's going to win the division crown. But this is a series where they can put an exclamation point on that. They really can. I believe the Brewers are going to win today. I believe they're going to. Games at Wrigley, it doesn't really matter to me. Again, Horton's been really good. You can only be this good and this lights out for a limited amount of time. And even the best pitchers in baseball, Paul Skeens, Zach Wheeler, Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, Mackenzie Gore. Even the best guys, they'll go on runs, and then they'll get blown up. The .55 ERA for Horton in the month of August is not sustainable, obviously. And at the same time, too, Horton barely goes over 5 innings, right? His really good starts are 5 innings, max 6 innings. Milwaukee does a lot of damage late in games, and they have a pitcher today, so even if Horton is on his A game and he's, really shutting down that Milwaukee offensive attack, or at least bats-wise, that's one way to put it, Freddie Peralta is going for the Brewers. 2.9 ERA. He's got a better ERA than Horton does this season. Peralta's coming off a start against the Pirates where he went 6 innings, 3 hits, and 0 runs. His ERA is .82 in the month of August, right? So you get a pitcher that can match Horton inning for inning out there. I think we're okay. I think we are. Again, Milwaukee does their damage late in games. They do. If we can just get 1 or 2 runs out of the Brewers off of Caden Horton, I think Freddie Peralta is going to put his team in a really good position to win this baseball game, especially after how poorly he pitched the first time around this year. Or I guess the last 2 times he pitched against Chicago wasn't great. First time Peralta pitched against the Cubs this year, early in May, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs. Last 2 starts haven't been the best against Chicago. Again, I believe that's going to turn itself around as well today. Chicago, again, barely getting by Pittsburgh in that series, winning 4-3 yesterday. They were, on the brink of losing that one. Dansby Swanson to sacrifice flying the bottom of the 8th to put them up 4-3, but it's too close of a series against Pittsburgh that you would want to have, especially with the Pirates not even pitching Paul Skeens in that series. And actually, guys, I'm staying away from Paul Skeens today. Shocker, I know. We always play something with Paul Skeens bump day. I'm actually completely staying away today. Just because they're playing the Blue Jays and they're favored to beat the Blue Jays. I hate it. I do like, though, the Brewers to win this baseball game. Andrew Vaughn, Christian Yelich. I know Churio's still out, but this team just finds ways to win games. They're 8 games ahead of the Cubs in the standings, and I think they make it 9 after a victory today at Wrigley Field. Freddie Peralta is going to be able to match Cade Horton blow for blow tonight, and I think we're going to be all right. Give me Brewers money line on the road today at Chicago or in Chicago at Wrigley Field plus 100. Our second best bet of the video is our second money line of the day. Again, only one bet today that is not a money line. It's going to be a nerfy. Instead, for our second best bet, we are going with the Miami Marlins to beat the St. Louis Cardinals. A lot of factors at play here. The main reason I am going Marlins money line is because of Yuri Perez. Yuri Perez is coming off back-to-back starts. His last start was serviceable. I'll say that. At Progressive Field against the Cleveland Guardians, Yuri Perez goes 5 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs. Start before that, his worst of the season in Atlanta against the Braves, 5 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs. But he started the month of August really hot against the Yankees, 6 innings, 2 hits, and 0 runs. I say it all the time with Yuri Perez. I don't believe he gets recognized as, as good of a pitcher as he actually is. The guy's amazing. He's 6'8", and 22 years of age, and he's very effective. 3.58 ERA this season. It was in the 2.7s prior to that bad Braves start. I fully expect Yuri Perez to bounce back today, especially against a Cardinals team that has lost 5 consecutive games, 2 of which to the Rockies, where they lost that series at home against Colorado, and they just got swept by the New York Yankees. I get it, Yankees a playoff team, borderline at that, but a playoff team. Miami's going to beat this team at home. They're going to today, especially with their best pitcher and their flamethrower in Perez going. Yuri Perez will give teams trouble. And I get it, Miami has not played their hottest ball, right? We were super high on this team after they had that series against the New York Yankees at Lone Depot Park. They then proceeded to lose a series to the Astros, lose a series to the Braves, lose a series to the Guardians, and lose a series in Boston against the Red Sox. However, yesterday, Miami does get on the right track. They win a game 5-3. It was a Dane Myers, I believe, home run that got things going for them in the top of the 9th that ultimately propelled them to victory. That's some momentum. We'll take that. And you're taking on a Cardinals team with absolutely 0 momentum. Pitching today for St. Louis is Matthew Liberatore. The lefty goes today, 4.08 ERA. Liberatore will not go more than 4 innings, 5 innings max. Last time he went 5 innings in a start was July 5th against the Cubs. Since then, 3 innings, 4 1/3, 4 1/3, 4 innings, and 4 innings. All of these starts so far in August, he's gone 4 innings and he's given up at least 2 runs in 4 innings. Let's get it going, Miami. I'm looking at Kyle Stowers. I'm looking at Agustin Ramirez. I'm looking at Hernandez. I'm looking at X Edwards. There are guys in this lineup that will come through for us tonight. Again, Liberatore with a 4.38 ERA in the month of August. Hell, month of July, he had a 6.57 ERA, and the month of June, he had a 5.14 ERA. Liberatore was good to start the season, don't get me wrong, sub-3 ERA in the month of May, but as the season has worn on, Liberatore has not been able to maintain that same production for the St. Louis Cardinals. And this is a Marlins team that is going to go after left-handed pitching, and at the same time, you get Yuri Perez going for the Miami Marlins. And this is a St. Louis team that is ice cold at the plate. They are completely ice cold. Lars Nootbaar is batting in the leadoff spot still. Mason Wynn, Alec Burleson. It's such a team right now. They know their season's over, and, St. Louis has known for a while, I think, that they're not going to make a playoff push in 2025, but this has solidified it this recent stretch. You are coming off losing a series at home to the Colorado Rockies, and again, as an Nats fan, I know how it feels. It's a demoralizing feeling, and that's when you know, our season's over if we're losing home series to the Rockies. But you do that, and then you let the Yankees go in there and sweep you. The Yankees, by the way, have not been playing their best baseball going into St. Louis. And yesterday, by the way, it's a tie game going into the top of the ninth. It's a tie game going into the top of the ninth, and JoJo Romero comes in and gets obliterated. Yankees score 8 runs in the top of the ninth inning to ultimately win the game 8-4. Did I say 8 runs? 4 runs. 4 runs to make the score 8-4 in a game in which St. Louis had come battling back in. They had the lead at 1.43. Yankees score 5 unanswered. Yankees win the baseball game. I'm taking the Marlins here. Yuri Perez is the better pitcher. The Marlins, I think, right now are swinging a better bat than the St. Louis Cardinals. And just this Cardinals lineup is just so mid to me. It just Nootbaar, Wynn, Burleson, Ivan Herrera, Nolan Gorman, Jordan Walker, Pozo. Yeah, come on now. That's 1 through 7. No. Give me the Miami Marlins to win here at home. Give me Yuri Perez, one of the most underrated pitchers in all of baseball. If he can just limit the walks, he's so nasty. Give me the Miami Marlins money line at home and in South Beach, minus 130 for the Marlins against the St. Louis Cardinals. On now to our third best bet of the video, we move to our daily Nerfy. Let's go to an American League East matchup between the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. Trevor Rogers and Dustin May are the 2 starting pitchers today. We're going to need to hope a little bit and pray a little bit here for Dustin May. But quietly, guys, Trevor Rogers has been one of the best pitchers in baseball over the last month and a half. Trevor Rogers has been extremely effective for Baltimore, and I don't think it's being talked about, to the point where I remember the Orioles have been underdogs in back-to-back games against the Phillies and against the Mariners, and Rogers has single-handedly won them those games. Mariners start 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Phillies start 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 run. Hell, the start prior to that he had in Chicago, he single-handedly keeps his team in the baseball game. They lose 8-1, but Trevor Rogers goes 8 innings, 4 hits, and 1 run. That's a CG. Because obviously the Cubs didn't hit in the bottom of the 9th inning. But right, Trevor Rogers has been so effective. 1 run per start. Hell, look back prior to that Cubs start as well against the Rockies. I know it's the Rockies, but still 7 innings, 1 hit, 0 run. Guys, Trevor Rogers in the month of July had a 1.03 ERA. In August, he's got a 1.29 ERA. It's actually insane what's going on with Trevor Rogers right now. I don't know where it came from, don't get me wrong, but he's been lights out this season, and why would that change here tonight? It's not going to. It's not going to change here in the start. So again, we are looking for the Nerfy today. So Trevor Rogers is going to be going at it with the Boston Red Sox. Boston, likely we're going to see somewhat of a combination of Roman Anthony, Trevor Story, Bregman, Yoshida? Maybe Yoshida? No, Yoshida's a left, so probably not. I don't even know who's going to be batting in the 5 then. Is that a spot for Romy Gonzalez or a Toro? Something like that. Duran, no, probably batting in the 5. Abreu, no, because the lefty. Yeah, I like Trevor Rogers against the Red Sox just because we're going to see lefty-lefty matchups, and we're going to force their hand again with the potential Duran matchup and with Willie Abreu. Obviously, Bregman always a factor, but you get a guy who's been as lights out as Trevor Rogers against this Red Sox lineup, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. The Red Sox are going to be a playoff team in 2025, but Rogers has just been that effective. I think he's going to have a really good outing today at Fenway Park. Flip side, this is where we get a little bit concerned, and don't get me wrong, I thought about going Red Sox money line today. I'm not going to do it off the sole factor of look at Dustin May's last start. In Houston at Minute Maid Park, 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs, 8 strikeouts. I'll be damned. You know? I mean, I guess Dustin May is finally back to being who he really is. Like, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, we've always thought of the potential of Dustin May, right? He was a guy who was highly marketed as a prospect within the Dodgers farm system. Finally, again, he gets a change of scenery out of LA after he wins the World Series with them last year. That second start as a Red Sox was great. He's going to get the Baltimore Orioles lineup, which yesterday wins 12-0 in Houston. They dominate the Houston Astros, and Baltimore's been hitting the ball really well right now. Obviously, Basallo just got called up. Their catcher, who they put in the DHS spot yesterday, he just gets called up, but still their 1, 2, 3, 4 is probably going to look Holiday, Westberg, Henderson, and Rutschman. I mean, that's just what they've been batting all year long. All right. Sign me up for Dustin May, who was extremely effective against Houston in his last outing. I think he's going to be extremely efficient again tonight. So that's the name of the game. You got to get the first 6 outs in all. I think we're going to do it, minus 125, and I have to talk about it because, it does relate to this game. Welcome to Boston, Nathaniel Lowe. Ho! Congratulations, Red Sox. You won the Nathaniel Lowe sweepstakes. Now, I remember at the beginning of the season when Nathaniel Lowe was actually really productive for DC and for the Nats, I, talked about how there was a potential that he was going to get traded, and the Boston Red Sox were the one team that was interested in Nathaniel Lowe. And this is, again, we're talking in May when this was happening. And we kind of laughed at it at the time, but we're like, all right, we don't really want to get rid of Lowe just yet. Well, the Red Sox eventually have bit on Lowe. Obviously, they had to pay no price for Nathaniel Lowe because the Nationals, sent him through outright waivers, gave him that unconditional release, and now here he ends up in Boston. I'm not surprised. I kind of thought he was going to go to Texas, but this would be so fitting for the Washington Nationals, and I can see it now, especially, after what, happens with Victor Robles. No, not him throwing the bat, him just going to Seattle and seeing success. Players, once they leave DC, are just back to who they're supposed to be. Again, Nathaniel Lowe this season with the Nationals batted .216, did have 16 home runs and 68 RBI, but was so lifeless at the plate. He signs with the Boston Red Sox, and I'm telling you, he's going to get his love for the game back. Like when Jimmy Butler was trying to get out of Miami, this is going to be Nathaniel Lowe now in Boston. I can envision it now. Nathaniel Lowe hits a home run in the wild card series. I just can. I thought he was going to go back to Texas, but honestly, yes, it makes way more sense for the Red Sox to go out and get them. Again, they wanted Lowe at the beginning of the season. Why would Lowe go back to Texas, a team that's probably going to end up nowhere near the postseason, at least like 3 games in the playoffs? Probably not. Boston is going to be a wild card at the very least this year, and it just makes sense Nathaniel Lowe is going to sign with them. Honestly, I hope nothing but the best for Nathaniel Lowe. My team's now platooning Paul DeYoung, Andres Chaparro, and Josh Bella at first base, which, don't get me wrong, I'm taking that every day over Nathaniel Lowe. Maybe, again, Lowe gets his joy back and he actually decides to swing the bat and actually decides to give a damn and actually communicate with his teammates in the clubhouse, unlike what he did in DC. Again, am I just speculating there? Maybe, or maybe I'm not. Have fun in Boston, Nathaniel Lowe. Anyways, Nerfy today, minus 125 between the Red Sox and the Orioles. On to our 4th best bet of the video. It is now our 3rd money line of the day. Let's go to the bank. Citizens Bank Park for the Philadelphia Phillies and the Seattle Mariners. Oh, I guess this game's at 3:45. It's before Red Sox Orioles. Whoops, got out of order. Anyways, Phillies versus Mariners. Philadelphia's coming off of a 4-game split in DC against the Nationals. Yesterday's game was atrocious for the Nats. Thanks, Mitchell Parker. Nats scored 9 runs. They still lose because Mitchell Parker's pitching. Anyways, Philadelphia gets Seattle here. The Mariners have lost 4 of 5. They went on their huge run. They lose yesterday in, Pennsylvania. Williamsport, wherever the hell that is. Little League World Series game. They lose it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, Seattle. Yeah, the Mariners are cooked right now. They'll be fine. I think they're still going to win this division, even though they're a game and a half out right now of the Houston Astros. They're ice cold. Ice cold at the plate. When the long ball's not going for them, it's danger for Seattle because they are so dependent on the home run. If they can't get it, ooh, it's tough. And George Kirby was god-awful last night. I completely understand. Pitching matchup tonight, Logan Gilbert versus Ranger Suarez. All right, Ranger, we need you to keep the ball in the park, which is a lot easier said than done because Suarez's ERA in the month of August is 6.75. Not like Logan Gilbert's been electric. He's just been serviceable. He's been good. He hasn't been lights out. Like Logan Gilbert's going to go 5 innings and give up runs. That's fine. It's just I'm going with the Phillies today purely off the fact of just how Seattle's swinging right now. They're not swinging a good bat. And that includes like an Rosarena. That includes Cal Raleigh still hitting the ball really well. Multiple hits yesterday. Hit the home run, his 47th of the season. But as a whole, this lineup's not hitting the ball that well. I'm so serious they miss Victor Robles right now. I'll get to Robles in a second because I just find it hilarious what he did yesterday in Tacoma. Or I guess in Vegas. But the Mariners are really struggling, at least in the last 5 games. They had that one great game, that first one in Queens. They made a huge comeback, and they came back from behind, obviously, won the game 11-9 in New York. It was hilarious. They then proceed to completely get shut down in back-to-back games against the Mets. I mean, completely shut down. 1 run on Saturday, 3 runs at the Little League World Series game, and 2 of those were obviously the Cal Raleigh home run in the 7th. Yeah, the top of the 7th. They look lifeless out there right now. They just do. The Phillies are going to score. I don't care. Logan Gilbert's been great. Yeah, that's fine. Philadelphia's going to score on you. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Turner, Schwarber, and Harper. All of which former Nationals. But those guys are going to put it on you. I get it. Ranger has not been elite, and that's fair. I think he'll figure it out today. Phillies are at home. The bats have been swinging better for Philadelphia. They just scored 11 runs yesterday. I think they parlayed that into a victory today. And we get even odds on both sides, -110 for both Seattle and Philadelphia. I'm going with the Phillies just because of how bad the Mariners have been as of late. Philadelphia has been slightly better. Now, because we are talking about the Mariners, and I did mention him earlier, because yes, the Mariners are actually really missing Victor Robles. Like, Dylan Moore cannot continue to play in this lineup. You know, they throw out a random right fielder every night. Dom Canzone. Canzone hasn't been bad, but no, this team is missing a Victor Robles in the lineup and really just what he brings this team. They might be missing him for even longer because what Victor Robles did last night in Tacoma, or I guess in Vegas playing for Tacoma, has to be some of the funniest things I've ever seen. I mean, it's hilarious. So shout out to former Washington Nationals World Series winner, Victor Robles, starter in center field for the World Series run, Victor Robles. But last night in Las Vegas, Robles gets hit by Joey Estes. He takes his bat and just chucks it at the mound. You thought the Bryce Harper helmet throw at Hunter Strickland in San Francisco was something? No. This is even crazier. Throws a whole bat at the mound. Robles obviously immediately gets ejected, gets pulled back into the dugout, then throws a whole bucket of bubble gum onto the field as his coaches are trying to hold him back. Mind you, this is a rehab assignment for Robles. Like, he's coming back to Seattle in a couple weeks, but now he's going to have to serve a suspension down in AAA. It's absolutely insane. Now, I think a part of this story that's getting forgotten on a lot of ends is that Robles has now been hit in 5 straight games in AAA. He's been hit so many times, especially by the Las Vegas Aviators, I believe they are, obviously, the Athletics AAA team. So there is somewhat of an American League West thing going on. And also, another layer that I don't think people are picking up on, Joey Estes last season hit Victor Robles when Estes was, on the Major League squad, with the A's, and when Robles was obviously in Seattle. I think there's some history there, but at the same time, yes, Robles, who is he does get hit the most out of, he's in the top 10 of players getting hit in Major League Baseball. I remember that when he was in DC and in Seattle too. Robles gets hit all the time. But 5 times in 5 games is absolutely ridiculous on a rehab assignment. So I get his frustration, but my goodness, you just don't do that. It was hilarious, don't get me wrong. And it's probably going to be the biggest, headline Victor Robles is ever going to get other than winning the World Series. Hilarious stuff in AAA Las Vegas yesterday. I think Robles' return's probably going to be we're going to have to wait a lot longer for it now. Some hilarious stuff, though. I laughed so hard when I saw it. Anyways, give me the Phillies to win. The Mariners are just missing Robles, man. They need Victor back. Our final best bet of the video goes to a matchup here at Petco Park in San Diego, California. We've got the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. The Giants win yesterday. Okay, yeah, they're not winning again, okay? The Giants are not putting together back-to-back victories. They snap a 7-game losing streak yesterday and a 7-1 victory over the Tampa Bay Rays on Elliot Ramos bobblehead night. I knew we were doomed yesterday with the Rays as soon as Yandy Diaz blasts the ball in Triple's alley and Jung-Hoo Lee dives for it, misses the baseball. Somehow he clamps his knees together and the ball's just right in between it. I don't know if it hit the ground. It looked like it did, but you're never going to know. I guess you can't overturn that. Jung-Hoon Lee traps the ball in his legs, and somehow he makes the catch. If he didn't do that, it would have been a one-out triple for Yandy Diaz. The Giants' devil magic, it's coming back. 2021, it's back again. Nah, the Giants suck still, don't get me wrong. 4 games under 500, the team's horrible, okay? They're not going to score tonight. San Diego is so due for one after going to Los Angeles and just getting bitched. Let's just call it how it is, guys. I don't know how the Padres are going to be successful in the playoffs if they lose last year in the NLTS against Los Angeles. And honestly, that's fine. Tightly contested series, they took them to 5, and that's the eventual world champions. The way they've performed against the Dodgers this season has been unacceptable. For a team of that level, by the way, I don't know why Ryan O'Hearn's not playing every single day. Can someone tell me why he's not? I don't get that. But for the expectation that you have and for how good you're supposed to be, you cannot be 2-8 against the team that's leading your division. Guys, the Padres had a lead over the Dodgers in the NL West, division title race going into that series. They get swept now, they're down 2. Don't get me wrong, there's still a month and a half left in the regular season. They could overtake the Dodgers. But my goodness, you can't perform any better against this team. I mean, the Dodgers have owned them all year long. Let's just call it how it is. They have owned the Padres this season. In Los Angeles, in San Diego, they've owned this team. Here we go. It's just, I think they got to win today. Combination of, the Giants are winning back-to-back. The Padres are so due for a victory. And it's in San Diego, and Nestor Cortes is going, which I don't think it's all that horrible. Guys, Cortes just pitched against the Giants, went to San Francisco, 4 2/3, 6 hits, and 1 run. Okay, that's serviceable. And Cortes' second ever start as a member of the Padres. His first start against the Diamondbacks, final line's not great. If you watch that game, it could have been so much worse. Cortes put them in somewhat of a position to win that game, and Cortes, even though he doesn't have a earned win so far, Padres are 2-0 in Nestor Cortes starts this season. The ERA is still crazy inflated because of that first start he had this season where he gave up 8 runs in 2 innings in the Bronx against the New York Yankees. So don't be discouraged by the 5.71 ERA from Nestor Cortes. Robbie Ray's going for the Giants. I'll tell you this, doesn't matter who pitches for the Giants, okay? They're not getting run support. Robbie Ray's last start, though, against the Padres in that same game that Nestor pitched in, Robbie Ray goes 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. The Padres are going to find ways to hit Robbie Ray. Trust me on that. Ramon Laureano is going to have a night against the left-handed pitcher in Ray. Manny Machado is going to have a night. Fernando Tatis is going to have a night. And it's just a whole other environment when you have to go down to San Diego to play this baseball team. It just is. Giants aren't ready for prime time. They're not going to score. Drew Gilbert yesterday finally hits a home run. So shout out to the Make-A-Wish kid. At least that's how Giants fans were treating him over his first week and a half of the big league club. Goes yard yesterday, then has a 2-hit night. That means he's going to go over his next 30. I kind of joking, but I don't know. I hope everything goes well for Drew Gilbert, legitimately. Seems like a cool dude. But I just know how the Giants play. They're not going to do anything off of a victory yesterday. That's the most momentum they're going to pull in for the next month, okay? Padres money line feels pretty safe tonight. Looking at the odds right now, -135 for San Diego. I don't know if that's going to keep trending in that direction. Regardless, though, I'm taking the Padres to win at home. Don't be discouraged because of the matchup with Cortes and Ray. Arguably, Nestor Cortes has been pitching better recently than Robbie Ray. And the Padres lineup, obviously, I know they've struggled, and they struggled in Los Angeles. The lineup should break through tonight at home against the left-handed pitcher in Ray, and especially against the Giants team that's probably not going to score that many runs, if at all. So give me the San Diego Padres tonight. They have really played well against the Giants this season, too. They just swept them last week. They won a series out of Oracle earlier in the year, 2-1. No, they swept it. No, 3-1 early in the season. So the Padres have played really well against San Francisco all year long, and they should continue to do that at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Give me Padres money line -135 here at home. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here on August 18th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment. If you do disagree with any of the picks, we'll be back tomorrow for more daily MLB Best Bets, and make sure to join us later today for our Week 0 college football predictions as well. Greedo plays MMA, more content over there as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.